Okay, y'all, so all this Will rigmarole completely made me forget what I wanted to mention in that video I put out about Will earlier, some commentary on that I didn't want to have to make a completely separate video. Oh, I'm going to give y'all a few good shows in here, but I meant to mention it. And actually, I did mention it, but the recording that I was doing, I got interrupted. So I scrapped that and I had to start that recording over. So I didn't use the one where I mentioned the show. But I don't know if you guys have watched Young, Famous, and African, but I see some folks out there reviewing it. It looks like the show is catching on. It looks like the show is getting pretty popular. And I think I wanted to say, because I was all in my, I was feeling real African last night. I was feeling real African. I don't watch no Oscars, Grammys, or any of that stuff. Like, I like the fashion or whatever the case, but I'm not really, I don't do too much TV. We do watch movies, but I don't do a lot of TV. And then we'll watch movies like if there's something really good that we want to see or whatever the case. So the Oscars, Grammys, all that kind of stuff, even the ones for the music. I'm a music enthusiast, but I'm still not really into the Grammys and things like that, because we know those award shows do not recognize all artists equally. And I'm not just talking about Black artists. I'm also talking about Hispanic artists, just other artists all over the world, Indian artists or whatever. And I know some of those shows may also have a version that goes down in other countries. Like, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think like MTV, like they may do an awards here and then they may have like the MTV Latin version or Spanish version. So I know those do occur, but I guess the point of it all is I don't put a lot of stock in those accolades. I know the artists do, and I know it means a lot to them, but I'm not really into those programs. So, long story short, because, I will get off on a tangent, I was not watching the Oscars. We were watching Young, Famous, and African, which I wasn't going to watch because I was like, oh, it kind of seemed pretentious, The colonizer has colonized everywhere. So I know I'm just going to get like an American vibe of folks who live over in the East. So it's like, it's just like anything else. Like if a Real Housewives comes out or a reality show or a Love and Hip Hop comes out over here, I'm not pressed to watch that either. So I kind of felt the same way. So I wasn't rushing, but I was just about to watch an online review of the show. I had opened it up in one of my phone tabs, but we got busy, so I never watched it. And one of my girlfriends, like we had just sat down, came back home, and one of my girlfriends had hit me and she was like, yo, did you watch Young, Famous, and African? She was like, it's good. You need to watch it, whatever the case. She was like, it's a good look. I like the way, it's showcasing Johannesburg or whatever. She was like, it was beautiful. And I was like, all right, let me watch this review. I started to watch the review, and then she kept hitting me in my messages. So I was like, all right, I'm going to just say screw the reviews and go watch the show. So I went to watch the show, and disclaimer, for people who can't see, my channel is for people who think a little bit more than the average person. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. You know how they be saying nowadays, if you know, you know. So you got to read between the lines with a lot of stuff that we talk about on here or that I may refer you guys to or to check out. So if you're just looking at it as reality TV and you're not into the reality TV BS, then it wouldn't really appease you or appeal to you. But if you are not that familiar, and no, this is not where you want to learn your African culture at either. It's not. But if you don't know anything about the continent or South Africa, Johannesburg specifically, or you don't know, and not just that, because you have Nigerians on the show, you have where's the girl Zari from? It's on my mind. I don't know how I just literally forgot where Zari is from, but she's not Nigerian. She's not from Johannesburg. I will put it in here, type it in here or something, or put it in the description box. It just brings that culture over here to something that Americans could probably relate to and like to see, because it's just in the style of television that we're looking to, it's in the style of television that we are used used to looking at. Oh, try a tongue twister maybe. So I found it very interesting. I like all of the characters. I like the culture, as different as we are, being blacks from this continent, and then those being, black Africans from across from the East. It really shows you people are different, but they're all the same. And I'm a person who I truly do believe in. I know where I come from. You know what I mean? I know my family, we could trace our family tree back pretty far. We've had folks in the family who've done those kind of projects and made it a point to trace the family tree. I've never gotten an ancestry test done, but I know that, I know they push this narrative. And I guess slavery absolutely happened, but not everybody may have come here as a slave. You may have come from other places. What if your people were indigenous people that were already here? So I know my family is a mix of both indigenous people who were already here, and then some people that came from either the continent of Africa or other places, maybe the islands or whatever the case, which is still a voyage from the continent of Africa, which really, if we keep it real here, isn't everything a migration or everybody a migration from the continent of Africa. So I'm kind of, and to say it in a way that you all may be familiar with, because Tariq Nasheed is a popular individual, I'm very so strongly a foundational Black American. Like, my family's been here for generations. I was born here. I recognize that my genealogy and my original culture may be from, or the culture where blacks began, period, may be from Africa. But I'm not a person that's like, oh, I need to go home to the motherland. That's my home. America is our home. I know we are outnumbered by the colonizer here, but I think there's a very big value in blacks appreciating and claiming Americans, claiming being American, just like any other race of folks that may be here. Caucasian specifically, I guess, is what I'm talking about, not anybody else. But we have rights to this country as much as Caucasians do. And the Indians, they quote unquote, who they call the Indians. So I'm a very strong believer in that. But I'm also a very strong believer in Pan-Africanism, because we do know that our roots lie in Africa. And although we cannot identify with that culture, because if you're not like first generation or second generation African living in America, how would you assimilate, or how would you know that culture if you weren't raised around Africans, or if it wasn't taught to you in school, which we live in America. So anybody who lives here is going to have to go by the system that's indoctrinated here. You have to go to school, like, unless your parents probably were getting you out of school by writing homeschooling notes or something, you had to go through the American educational system. So, when nobody can really say, oh, you don't know your culture, you don't know this, you don't know that. Well, when your family's been here for hundreds of years and generation after generation, that's not really a valid statement to say, to try to make somebody seem like you're not American, you're African. No, I'm American, but my history and my lineage does descend from Africa. You know what I mean? So, and we can get all into like when this earth was all one landmass and it broke apart, and who's really the foundational Americans. But, like I always say, research is out there, Google is out there, Yahoo is out there. Go look it up for yourself, because it's really what you all should be doing anyway, if you don't know. So long story short, the point is, check the show out. I think if nothing else, yes, it has its fair share of reality BS, right? But I think it's going to truly, truly open the door for people who weren't already interested in going to visit the different places in Africa, different countries in Africa. If not just South Africa and Johannesburg, but there's plenty of other places you could visit. I think it is going to definitely, some folks are already into that, but it is going to definitely open up the doors, I believe, for more people to identify with the continent and want to go back to the continent. And I think if it does nothing else, if it serves no other purpose, that is absolutely a purpose that it will serve by watching that show. All the other drama in it is neither here nor there. And of course, Another show you all have to check out is Top Boy. I don't know if anybody watches Top Boy, but it's back on. Just to add another piece of context to the reason for my video, because I typically don't, it's not a review of a show or anything like that. It's just like I see the bigger picture, like that final coming together of blacks in America and blacks on the continent of Africa, Africans and black Africans, finally like making it a seamless transition for like blacks in America to kind of float between those two worlds. Because I think just what I've experienced from having African friends over the years, African friends and acquaintances, some very close, is that I find most of the Africans that I meet, and I don't know if it's because they are here, they have come here. A lot of them have spent a lot of time here if they weren't raised here all of their life. But a lot of them that I know weren't raised here all of their life, or, they migrated to the UK or just whatever the case may be. I find that a lot of people from Africa or other parts of the world know more about American culture. And I know that's probably largely in part because America is like the number one country in the world, right? I mean, after what, maybe Europe? I can't say Europe, but like after what, maybe UK or London? I don't even know. Or Europe as a whole. I don't know who's number one, but I would assume it's America. Because it's been a long time. I know America used to be the biggest superpower, but our dollar has been kind of crumbling. But I know we still like number one. But anyway, but I'm not statistically looking at something right now, speaking from like a list of this scientifically and scholastically mapped out. Okay, I'm just talking off of the dome. So a lot of people that I meet, they know something about American culture, whether it be the music, what they perceive of us on TV, like whatever it is, and whether it's accurate or whether it's not accurate. They know our movie stars, our celebrities, just everything. Same goes for like my Jamaican friends or my friends from Trinidad. But Black Americans don't know shit about y'all. Like a lot of Black Americans don't know nothing if you ask them to name African artists, or if you even ask them who Fela Kuti is. I mean, they wouldn't know. They wouldn't know. Your girl is a bit cultured. I like different things. I have a ninth house moon. So, in Pisces at that. So, things that are not like me interest me. But I think that is typical for Americans. And I'm honing in on Black Americans because that's my experience. That's what I am. But I think it's even more typical of Black Americans. And I think exposure and perception are two huge things. Because America has been at the top of the food chain for so long, it's like people in America, more specifically Black Americans, whatever struggles we go through here, the good and the bad, like I talked about, we're foundational Black Americans. So, and the opportunity to be successful, make money. I mean, those opportunities are all over the world, right? But we know we can do it here in America. So I don't think a lot of folks Black folks' experience is beyond what they know in their everyday, and the obstacles and struggles we have just to make it here in America and survive in our own country with the things we've been through over the hundreds of years that we've been here. So that is the context for this video, because I think exposure to American culture is more widespread across the world. But Americans, specifically Black Americans, exposure to what's happening in the East and on the other side of the world, in Europe, in Africa, in places like Russia, I would say on a large scale, we aren't as informed as things would be the other way around. And me personally, not just because there's not really a lot of channels. I don't know. It could be out there, but there's not a lot of channels where African movies would come on. I would say over the last 10 years or so, African channels have started popping up. Like you guys know, we used to have one Telemundo channel and stuff. So channels like that are just starting to branch out and show more things of other cultures in the East. But when I was younger, we did have, PBS. PBS, WETA, whatever the case, they did show a lot of shows from London. So I know I've always, or the UK, Europe, whatever the case. So I've always had an affinity for that because some of those shows were my favorite. Like some of my favorite shows. I mean, I used to watch them, like the one of my, I guess I would say my absolute favorite show from Europe, London, whatever, was the one that I don't remember the title of it. I don't know how I can forget, but the theme song would be like dun, 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 going up. Dun, 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 dun. It was the department store show with the white lady that used to wear the crazy wigs and the crazy hair. That was my show. And then what was the other show with the two crazy white girls that was friends that was always drinking? Yeah, I don't know how. Of course, I forgot the names of those shows, but one second, let me look them up real quick. I just remember that theme song going up. Oh, what was that one? Absolutely Fabulous. I think the one with the two ladies that used to drink was Absolutely Fabulous, and the one with the department store TV show London. I don't know like all my proper terms. I don't know my proper terms for calling stuff the UK, calling stuff London. What's this show? Y'all. I don't know. Hold up. Let me try to. This ain't it. Hang on. Oh, I might want to spell London right. They keep giving me some other show, and it's not that. Let me put in theme song going. Theme song lyrics. I'm gonna edit this out. Excuse me, y'all. I have a cold, so that's why it sounds like that. How they gonna bring back Mary Tyler Moore? Are You Being Served? Are You Being Served? So two of my favorite shows that I watched as a child, and that's probably why I really want to go to the UK, including a lot of shows I've been watching nowadays, but I've always enjoyed programming from across the pond. Let me put in Absolutely Fabulous. You Being Served to make sure that was a name. My voice is terrible with this cold, y'all. It's on its way out, but I'm just checking the names of these shows in case y'all want to check them out. I'm going to have to get, like, all the episodes and watch them again. Yes, it was... What was it called? Absolutely Fabulous. So Absolutely Fabulous and Are You Being Served? So that was just some context, and I'm going to have to shorten this. Wait. Oh, shit, y'all. I'm trying to end this video. I'm trying to make a concerted effort. Because I could talk forever. I can go on and on forever. My interests are so vast. I like a little bit of everything. Let me say that. But another thing I meant to say is y'all know this is an astrology channel. So anytime I can, I'm going to squeeze astrology in. I just don't want to focus on astrology. Like I said, I'm always interested in a myriad of topics. So I like a lot of news, a lot of current topics, just anything that's what's going on is what I like. And so I was watching the show from an astrological point of view as well. So before I watched, I looked up the characters and looked up their zodiac signs. And I don't know if there's any Libras out there, but this show, it's just so funny. Like even when people who aren't into astrology fully, and they can't see, like those are the very people who will tell you, oh, that's not valid. I can't believe it gets on my nerves. How dare you people bring up astrology and actually try to say this is why somebody acts this way or whatever. We all know it's free will, right? And people are different. It's your birth chart. It's not just your sun sign. And then there's free will, which isn't written into any chart. Man, every man has free will. But looking at the show and looking at the zodiac signs and knowing the zodiac signs before the show came on, it was so funny. Because I was like, Libras are gonna Libra. Libras, y'all got this. Like the show is mostly damn Libras. And I said, if a Libra is going to do anything, a Libra is going to Libra. So if you a Libra, I need y'all to watch this show. Because y'all Libras, if these birth dates are correct that I looked up, y'all Libras, y'all, a Libra is going to Libra, especially y'all damn Libra men. And if you are into astrology, because you subscribe to this channel and, you know, you want to learn some different things as well, it's funny because we all know the Libra men are just like, I can't call them nothing but Libras. If you know, you know. But it's funny because there's a Libra woman on the show. And I want you all, if you're into astrology, look at the Libra woman and see those same characteristics that she's displaying that is happening in the Libra men. Like I told y'all, the Libras are going to Libra. So I'm going to give it to y'all for my astrological people. If you're not into astrology, you can go ahead and dip now. Go ahead, watch it, check it out. But for my people that's into astrology, so I'm going to say the best character for last. I'm going to say the best for last. But the Libras are Diamonds. I forgot his whole name, but the singer, the Diamond guy, he's a Libra. Adelaide, he's a Libra. Zari is a Libra. She's a Libra Virgo because she's first day a Libra, the 23rd, but she is still a Libra. Who else was a Libra? Those are your three. Oh, and Zanye, I'm gotta look at her name. I'm sorry if I'm butchering it, but she's a Libra as well. And she's a main character on the show. If I'm not mistaken, all of those four are Libras. And then the rest of the characters are, the naked DJ guy is a Leo. And this is off the top of my head from looking him up like 2 nights ago. I think we were watching that Saturday. And then I finished Sunday until people started telling me what happened on the Oscars. So I had to take a break and watch that bullshit. And then I went back and finished the show. Well, I finished the show and then I went and looked at the bullshit, but they kept interrupting us. So, naked DJ is a Leo. His girlfriend, Kaylee, I think is her name. She's a Sag. And this is if the birth dates are correct from the source I looked up. Sometimes you'll find you might see a birth date one place and it's different someplace else. So I usually try to look in 2 sources for a birth date to see if they match. Kaylee is a Sagittarius. Nadia, she's cute. She looks just like somebody and I cannot put my finger on it. She looks just like somebody that's American and I can't put my finger on it unless she's been in something else and I've seen her and I just didn't realize who she was and who she was in Africa. She was dating Vic Mensa, which I had no idea that either. I didn't know he was I think his dad or maybe he himself was born in Ghana. But she is a Taurus. Then you have, I'm just talking about the main people that I can just recall the main people on the show that I can recall off the top of my head. Then you have Annie, who is married to Two-Face. Their story is very interesting, which I hope people who review this show and maybe we'll come back and talk much deeper about how niggas is just the same, whether in the motherland or here. The niggas here get it from y'all in the motherland. It's all y'all fault. You know, it's all your fault. But Two-Face is a Virgo. It's a very popular singer. My girlfriend that was texting me about the show was like, I love him. I love his songs. This is my favorite songs. She's Jamaican, if I didn't already say that. His wife, Annie, who I really like, she's a Scorpio. I love my Scorpios. And I said, it's Scorpios. If it's a Scorpio around, it's got to be a Pisces or a Cancer around. And, of course, I saved the best one for last, the Cancer, Swanky Jared. And he's best friends with the Scorpio. So check it out, y'all. Check it out. Whether you're looking at it from an astrological perspective, whether you're interested in going and visiting Africa or just broadening your conversation topics, your knowledge, your broadening your culture, and just broadening your horizons. I'm not going to come back and add another part to this. This is truly it. Good fucking bye.